Okay, so I'm just gonna do a quick video. I wanted to discuss about some of the most unbelievable crashes there's ever been in NASCAR, and it's like you look back at crashes in NASCAR, you automatically probably think of catch fence crashes or like cars flipping over. That's usually what you think of, and that's usually what I think of. And there's some crazy flips. You know what I mean? Let's say Elliott Sadler's Talladega flip. You know, the one where he gets turned backwards and just like does like a nose stand in the air and there's a little flop, and just it's like you look at the cars, you find out how much they weigh, and you're like, and then you see how it happens. It's like unbelievable. It makes you just wonder the physics of NASCAR. You know what I mean? Ryan Newman's crash at Talladega 2009, when he flipped over, the way he it was weird. Was to me, when certain angles you see it, it's like it's real time speed, but when I look at it, it looks like in slow motion. Because it's like you see him, he gets turned, and if it wasn't for Kevin Harvick being down there, he wouldn't flip. But like when he got turned, like you just watch his car kind of just like slowly just go up. Like he almost did a whole back. If we had more time in the air, you could have done a complete backflip. I mean, why not? Because who knows? And I know that the trucks in the truck series, those trucks are lighter, but also that they only have like one roof flap on the hood of the truck, not the front of the hood, like top, where your head's at. And Matt Crafton's flip, it's kind of like Ron Hordy's flip at Talladega 2010. But when Matt Crafton flipped, it was weird because he should have weight shifted. When Chris Buescher weight shifted last year, if that kind of car could weight shift, the truck should have weight shift. The only reason why it didn't is because he got turned so quickly. But it doesn't make sense because the way he got hit was like Chris Buescher. It was just like a quick just boom, just got nailed so hard. But I guess because the trucks are so lighter, they can spin easily, I guess. So like the only reason why I can't tell how if you would have gone to the air, would have been if you watch the replay, you'll see the 92 truck hit him right as he goes into the air. So my question is, would he still have blown over if the 92 truck didn't hit him? Would the flip been different? Would it have been the same? Would he went into that catch fence, because he was really close to hitting that catch fence? And if you can imagine a truck upside down in the air, right? If he hits the catch fence, the top of that catch fence, how is that gonna look? Is he gonna stay upside down? Like, how is that gonna work? Like, when something doesn't happen, you imagine what would happen, and you get these crazy thoughts. Like what if he didn't flip in the air? What if he just kind of pushed up in the air like Bobby Allison's catch fence crash? He just got pushed into the air and went straight into the fence instead of going over. How that would have happened? How would that looked? You get these crazy thoughts, and it makes you wonder. You kind of want to see it happen, but then you're like, no, that's dangerous. That can kill somebody. You don't want to see it, but you imagine it in your head, and it just makes you wonder. And I don't know why I get excited when I think about that. It's weird because Matt Kenseth, when he flipped last year at Talladega, apparently he kind of hit the catch fence when he flipped over the front of his car. What if he was in the air a little bit longer and literally went over that fence or something like that into the infield? I mean, you just think. You think of what could happen and just how crazy it would look. Because if I was to imagine Matt Kenseth's crash, I could see the car just sliding in the air, hitting that fence, going over. It looks, to my head, it looks weird. And in the truck race Daytona this year, I thought in my head, for some reason, we were gonna see a flip. And the way I imagine it, you're gonna think I'm stupid and crazy. But then again, after we've seen what happened, you won't think as stupid. But I thought I don't know why. I was thinking on the backstretch, kind of like what happened to on Todd Bodine. I figured a car was gonna go backwards. It was gonna get pushed into the air. Was gonna do one or two backflips and land it, and probably continue. I don't know why when I was thinking that, I was imagining Christopher Bell. I don't know why. It was weird. I didn't I don't know. Like I don't know why I thought Crafton's flip was more crazy than what I was thinking, because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting, I guess, a crash, but like, I mean, that race overall, like, people say it was just too stupid. There was too many crashes and everything. I don't care what you say. The racing, the truck series had like the best racing, and some of the worst crashes too. Like, when's the last time you saw a barrel roll before 2016? What, like 2000? What was the last barrel roll before 2016? What was it? Like multiple flips, like more than 3 flips, like not one roll, like barrel rolls, like multiple flips. So like I think of like Scott Riggs 2005. I know there's one sooner than that. Probably. No, it's been a while since you actually saw a barrel roll before Christopher Bell's flip. I can't. It was ever since we've gotten those Car Tomorrow cars, everything NASCAR's had, like, you see the most stupidest. You see Carl Edwards flying in the air to the catch fence. Let me say something. Apparently Carl Edwards said he might have came down a little bit on Brad Keselowski, right? So, like, explain to me why, if he thinks he came down, that means he thinks it was probably his fault. So why would he wreck the guy that he wrecked? Or, like, like, I know, like, he blamed himself, but, like, then why would you wreck him, then? If you're the one that came down on him. See, like, it's, like, yeah, I mean, I guess after that, like, I guess at the time when he wrecked Keselowski, people didn't like him. Like, I mean, like, after 2016 at Homestead, that crash right there, too, is crazy. How he hit that wall, they got nailed by, Casey Kane. I thought he was in the catch fence, and, like, the way, how many times have we been close to getting to catch fence crashes? We got Chase Elliott at Talladega. You got Matt Crafton. You got Carl Edwards at Homestead. You probably got someone else. Who else? I mean, like, we've gotten some close ones these past couple years where cars could have easily gone to catch fence. And then, like, I guess the most like non-violent catch fence crash I've seen was probably the 2012 series at Trucks. Like, the way it happened, like, where he got hit. Like, it was kind of like Matt Crafton's flip. Think about it. The way Joey Coulter in 2012, where he got hit, right? He went into the air backwards. The trucks are pretty much the same now as they were a couple years ago. So it was probably going to be the same thing, but, like, if you think about it, the way it happened, Matt Crafton probably would have hit the catch fence. If you watch Joey Coulter, you saw him. He gets in the air, but he goes straight up. He doesn't go at an angle. He goes straight up, which means he continues to go up. At some point, he hits the fence, the top of the fence. So the same thing could happen to Crafton, but he got hit by the 92, which made him flip in an angle, like kind of sideways, which probably what kept him from hitting the top of the fence, because he wasn't vertical. He was kind of like sideways, so he couldn't really hit the top of the fence. If you watch, you'll see he was very close to hitting it, and it's I guess the hardest hit I've ever seen in NASCAR. That's tough. But the most violent one I've probably seen was that same race, the trucks at Daytona, where Miguel Paludo, however you say it, the way he hit the wall and, like, he went in there and did a 360, that was violent, dude. I mean, I know Danica Patrick's hit last year at Talladega was bad, but, like, it's hard to, like, rate and judge these crashes. Like, you just look, like, I don't know with Danica Patrick and walls at super speedways, but, like, she can't seem to not hit them these days. It's like, she gets, like, the worst hits, but, like, I feel like the Sprint Cup cars are more safe than the truck cars. And the way, like, it was bad was when he hit the wall, it reminded me, it was so bad. It was so bad. These hits, man, like, so much safety. I bet 20 years ago, if Danica Patrick would hit that wall like he did last year, we would have had a, let's say, a first girl die in NASCAR. I mean, like, it's like, yes, Dale Sr. died. That was bad, but, like, I hate to say this, but Dale Sr.'s death might have been the best thing that's ever happened to the sport. That is hard to say, but that crash, that was the last death we've had in NASCAR. And you know why? Because of that crash. He didn't wear the Hans device. Now everybody has to wear it because of that crash. We made the car safer. We've had more safer barriers around the track. Well, Kyle Busch fixed that. But like the Hans device, that's probably the most important thing there is in the race car. Don't matter if you don't have brakes. As long as you have the Hans device, you're more than likely to go to survive. Okay, we know that because Danica Patrick hit the wall at 200 miles an hour 2 or 3 times in the career, and she's been fine. So, you know, the Hans device has got to be the best thing that's ever happened in NASCAR because Dale Senior's death. Yes, I feel sorry for Dale Earnhardt fans, but that's the truth. His death was probably the best thing that ever happened in NASCAR. The way you just say, you're like, really? A death is good? In a way, there's only one reason why it's good. Only one reason. The rest of it is like, why? It's terrible. Yes, see, anybody dying in the race car is bad, but like, that crash, it just doesn't look bad. But then like, see, look, if you don't judge me, okay? I have a thing where I know something's bad, but to me, it doesn't look bad. Like that IndyCar crash qualifying, it doesn't look bad to me. Okay, it doesn't look bad. I'm not stupid. It's bad. It's very bad. 230 miles an hour to a wall. Yeah, I'm not stupid. That's pretty bad. Okay, so yes, it's bad, but it doesn't look bad to me. Okay, I've seen enough crashes to get used to these kind of crashes. Okay, so like when Dale Senior's crash, like you look at his crashes he's had in Talladega 2 years in a row, in 96 and 97. 96 and 97, Bill Elliott, him and Mike Skinner. I think that's it. Or Sterling Marlin. You know what I'm talking about. Those crashes just look more violent, probably because of the angle. But the way the angle he hit them is probably the reason why it wasn't that bad. Because it was the angle. It was not a head-on where he got thrown forward. It was the angle where he got pushed to the side. It wasn't head-on. It was more to the side. So, see, now, okay, that makes sense. See, it wasn't head-on, so it wasn't, you know, the whole body going into the dashboard. It was more like hitting the side of the car. So it was, yeah, he got bruised. Yeah, he saw him. He was injured. But, like, it wasn't, like, a head-on. I can see why head-ons are pretty bad. Like, if you look at all the angles Danica Patrick's hit. 2012, she hit at an angle. 2016, right? 2016. She's had, how many bad crashes she had? She's had 2 at Talladega and 1 at Daytona. So she's had an angle. She had an angle. I guess the one this year she hit kind of at an angle at the wall. It was more like head on, but the way she was sliding was at an angle. So I guess that counts. But this year at Kansas, the way she hit it, that was more like a head on. But the Hans device is why she's not dead, okay? That was much more violent than Dale Senior's crash. But the Hans device, see? The Hans device. Look at it. How many bad crashes have you seen after Dale Senior's death? The crashes have been getting worse. But Dale Senior's death is why we have had, not, what, 20 deaths in the past 16, 17 years? Okay? So, yes, it's sad. But it's the best thing that's happened to NASCAR, okay? Like, you just think, like, how is he dead? But how are they not dead? Because of the Hans device. Okay, I get that now. It doesn't have to look bad for it to be bad, okay? I know that. And look, quite frankly, the best crashes you could be in is super speedway. Because, like, Jimmy McMurray said that in an interview at the 2014 Coke 0400. He said, the easiest hits you take all year is super speedways because everybody's going the same speed. So, if you look at all the big ones, right, in like, you know, super speedways, when was the last time you had an injury? Besides Nationwide in 2012, that doesn't count, because he was hit by other cars. He just went straight onto a safer barrier. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, right there. What's his name? The guy who broke his back, what was his back at Talladega in the Nationwide series, or aka Xfinity series. It was, what was his name? He was driving that 14 car. What was his name? What was it? Eric McFleur. Eric McFleur? Or, you know what I mean. So yeah, he hit the safer barrier, but like the way he hit it, one, he didn't slow down, and two, he had to travel so much. He was actually, I think, gaining speed, wasn't he? So like, dude, that's bad. That crash is probably worse than Danica Patrick's crash. All the crashes she's had are not as bad as that one, because I think it's worse when a car doesn't go in the air. Because, like, think about it. All the energy... Yeah, if your car hits that hard and it doesn't go in the air, I automatically think that's a bad crash, because, like, he didn't get flung out in the air. Like, he hit the wall and just came right back out, like Danica Patrick's crash. But she hit it more at, like, just kind of like at an angle. He hit it more, like, head on, but it wasn't straight on head on. You know what I mean? So yeah, as this video was, just saying how all these crashes that we've had, they're so just crazy, unbelievable. But then, like, you just don't see these people die. You see them just climb out of a car. It's like, how much safety is there in NASCAR? It's a lot. Eric Almirola's crash, it wasn't more just how he hit the car. It was, if you watch the rear tires, right as he hits Logano, you'll see the tires kind of like come off, like they kind of come off the axle or whatever's connected to it, and like something happened to where it hit his seat. It hit the back of his seat. So like something happened to where it hit the back of his seat, and not only that, but when the car went in the air and came back down, so that also is gonna hurt your back. That's like the real only injury that's, you know, in the Cup Series ever since Dale Sr.'s death. I mean, we've had people break their thumbs, like Eric Almirola. Last year in Dover, he broke his thumb or finger in that Dover crash where everybody was piled in. Like, it's weird. Like, we've been having a lot of injuries recently. Like, the crashes are like, the cars are safer, but like the way the crashes are just getting more stupid now. Like Matt Kenseth's crash that we had last year. What is that? Like, a blowover in that kind of car? What are the odds? You got the truck series where Crafton just a 360, and yeah, like Clint Boyer. I mean, we're technically still getting blowovers, but they're not straight backwards. They're like sideway blowovers. It's like, what kind of crashes do you need? Christopher Bell's crash. That was technically a blowover, but he hit the wall, which kind of sent him over. Like, if you're going sideways in the truck at that speed or blowing over, oh my god, what's gonna happen when you're going backwards? Oh yeah, we already know. Anyways, that's my video of disturbing or unbelievable crashes. Like Jeff Bourdon's crash, 2000, in the first ever truck race at Daytona. Who would have thought you hitting the truck was just gonna send it in the air, into the catch fence, catch on fire, flip many times, get hit many times, disintegrate, and the guy's just gonna be okay. Well, you know what I mean, survive. And you think about that. That was before Dale Sr.'s death. That was like, what, before the Hans device? So he must have been wearing a Hans device, or he should have been dead. Straight up dead. Should have been gone instantly and been up there. Okay? How he survived is beyond me, because he would have had to be wearing a Hans device. Because how he hit that fence and everything, it just makes absolute no sense. It wasn't like Austin Dillon's crash though, because Austin Dillon was 0 to 200. 200 to 0 in an instant. Okay, so that's gonna make you go forward in your seat. You know? But the Hans device kept them straight. Not only that, he was not hitting a safer barrier. He was hitting metal rods. Metal fence. It was not a safer barrier. That's not, the metal doesn't support you. Okay, so the fact that he was pretty much uninjured, less uninjured than Jeff Bourdon's crash, is like, why? You got a guy, I don't know, just miracles, luck, logic, I don't know. You could go 200 to 0 into a metal fence, you'd be okay. But when when safety wasn't as good, well, actually that makes sense. Safety wasn't as good. Okay, never mind. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you stayed here for 20 minutes, and ow. Yeah, if you agree with all this on me, you think a lot like me, or you just think like that, because I speak logically. I speak logic, and the way I've been saying, I speak logic. It doesn't look bad, but yes, it's pretty bad. Okay, I've seen enough crashes to get used to those kind of crashes. Yet when you first see it, it's gonna be bad, but like, see, any cars are made to break apart, so like that's why it didn't look as bad. Any cars are made to break apart. You know, not the cockpit, but everything around is made to break apart to absorb the crash. So I knew it wasn't that bad. I knew it was bad. The way it looked, it didn't look that bad. But like when a NASCAR breaks apart, yeah, that's pretty bad. You know, because it's not supposed to break apart. Okay, and like, that crash of the Indy 500 where the guy Scott Dixon just hit a car, flew in the air for like what 3 seconds, hit the fence and flipped over. Like I mean he that if you would have, this car would have been the other way around head first, that's the end of your career. Not career-ending crash, life-ending crash. And Indy cars are just more dangerous because you're gonna go in the air more likely than a NASCAR, and you got an open cockpit, so you hit your head first. You're gonna get a concussion, you're gonna break your neck, or you're gonna die. Okay, NASCARs, you have to take a pretty hard hit or a pretty bad crash to get injured or die. Okay, these guys all have to do is just go upside down into a wall or to a fence, and you could die. Okay, that's why I think, in my opinion, Indy cars are more dangerous. That's it for this video.